Well, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Chicago. Here we are, July the 3rd, 2025, the Pritzker Band Show. The Grant Park Music Festival Symphony there is practicing there. They just did a little set there. We'll head over to the Bean here. We got a beautiful summer day here, 85 degrees there. We got a fish, dude. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, Krista. Thanks for tuning in, Ivan. How you doing here? Yeah, see, they're practicing for the Grant Park Music Festival. I don't know when they're gonna have their next concert there. You can check online, but a lot of times in the summertime they'll practice there, and we caught them last week and the week before there. Stephanie, how you doing there? Lunch Bunch there. Really, Julie Reed there. Yeah, Krista. Hope I'm blessed. We got a stream here. I think I made some progress working out my technical difficulties here, and I'm a little early today just in case. I was a little worried I couldn't get a stream going, but we got a stream going here. So hey, Chicago, Millennium Park, there's the Bean. Like I said, 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Might get up to the upper 80s, nice clouds there. We got Nascar street race, July 5th and 6th. Tomorrow's the 4th of July. Look, she's tossing the cap there, graduation there in purple. Yeah, people are celebrating here in front of the Bean there. Yeah, toss the cap there. That's great. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Thanks for tossing the cap there. See, congratulations there, the graduate. There's the skyline of Chicago. So what I'm going to do, we'll head right over to the Nascar race setup here. And I think they've already closed down some of Michigan Avenue. We'll take a peek down Michigan Avenue, see if they got the grandstands set up. And then we'll either head over Monroe or Jackson. And then we'll see if there's a free area. I think there's a free area where even if you don't have a ticket for July 5th and 6th, they did this last year. We've been messing with this NASCAR thing. This is the third year in a row we've been doing here in Chicago. Krista, no, they're not going to shoot off fireworks at Navy Pier tomorrow. They're going to do it on Saturday. So I have family coming into town. I got my cousin and his friend. We're going to be in Evanston. Anybody's welcome to meet me up in Evanston. We're going up to Evanston for fireworks tomorrow. At least that's the plan. And I appreciate people wanting to meet and stuff here, but you know, I can't just run all over the place. And if we meet, I'll be I'll be back downtown the 5th and the 6th. You know, they're going to shoot fireworks off at Navy Pier Saturday night. I would avoid it unless you want to go through security there on Navy Pier. And here's the kids playing in the Crown Fountain here. We'll check it out here. And then let's see if they got the streets blocked off. Looks like people are walking down Monroe. We're going to check out the NASCAR here. So, Zoom Patrol, how you doing there? Yeah. Yeah, we walked by the site of the mass shooting there. We went by it this morning. It's typical of, I hate to be so desensitized to the violence in the city, but anytime we go through a holiday weekend, July the 4th or Labor Day, usually there's a spike in violence. I think there was a hip-hop show there. We went by the scene of the crime there yesterday. 4 people lost their lives and 18 people were injured, taken to the hospital. Here's the Crown Fountain here. We show this. This is part of Millennium Park. There's some of the Chicagoans that volunteered to put their faces on there. What a nice day to dip your feet in the water. We dipped our feet in Lake Michigan the past few days there. We'll see if they spit out the water here. The kids love it. Nice splash park here, Millennium Park, just south of the Bean. We're going to check out the NASCAR setup. So I'm on a little early today. We got 11:48 in the PM. I'm working from the office. There are some people. There's more people in the office today than there were on Monday. I don't. I guess some people are still in Chicago. Not everybody's traveling for the 4th of July weekend here. So hey, thanks everybody. Krista, I saw your message there. Yeah, thanks for letting me enjoy time with the family there. Are you taking your son to NASCAR drivers tomorrow? That's a great idea. So yeah, I wondered if the haulers were in today. They might not come in tomorrow. They have big rigs that haul the NASCAR vehicles, and we saw that last year. So let's see. Yeah, it looks like they got some No, traffic's still moving on Michigan Avenue. So here we'll head. We won't head down Michigan Avenue. We'll head over Monroe because I want to. I want to see if they got the free area for the Nascar over here. That might be where you're going tomorrow to meet the drivers. We'll head right over to the Nascar street race course here. They've been doing street closures. They're eventually going to shut down Michigan Avenue, and they're eventually going to shut down DeSable Lakeshore Drive, which is going to mess up traffic, but they've been doing this the past few years there. That sounds like fun there, Krista. Hope you have a good time with your son there. And yeah, tomorrow I won't be downtown because I'm downtown today. I'll be downtown on Saturday. It's just the way my schedule works. They're not shooting fireworks off at Navy Pier tomorrow. That's why we're going to go to Evanston. I think at 9:30 we'll be on probably TikTok, and we'll try to do some other stuff in Evanston. We'll maybe see the Baha'i Temple, Northwestern University. There's a lighthouse up there. I don't know if we'll be able to get to it on the 4th. Here's the box office for the NASCAR. This is Monroe Street, Chicago, Illinois. We got 85 degrees here, 11:50. Let's see what's happening. Here's the trough where the South Shore and the Metro Electric go out of Millennium Station. Art Institute Chicago. Here's the box office. Tickets. Yeah, this is the entrance to the Art Institute. The Wall Street of Chicago is LaSalle Street. We walked by it this morning. On TikTok, we walked in, we went down LaSalle Street, we talked to the guy with the guitar. I showed the Board of Trade. The Board of Trade is historically the commodities exchange. A futures market grew out of that. Now it's called the Mercantile Exchange. The Mercantile Exchange is on Wacker, near the South Branch of the river. The Board of Trade's still there, but most things are digitized now. It's all online stuff. Now I don't know how if I'm gonna be able to walk through here. We'll see how the access is. They're still setting up barricades and grandstands. They're working furiously to get this race ready to go. Here's some official merchandise. We'll see if they let us walk around here. I don't know if it's different than it was last year. Last year we were able to walk into Monroe Field and check out some of the pre-race. They might not have it ready for visitors yet, and they might have changed the way the course is set up. There's some people on segways, and if not, we'll just walk around the perimeter fence. We'll get as close as we can here. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's on Butler Field here. Hey, there's some segways heading across. So Columbus is closed. Columbus is closed. It says the sidewalk's closed here. So seems like they got tighter security. So let's see. Yeah, there's some of the trucks there. This is on Columbus. Yeah, the haulers must not be in here yet, because last year I think it was on the 3rd. They'll probably come in tonight, overnight, or tomorrow. They'll probably bring the haulers here. Let's head around the fencing here. There it is, NASCAR Productions. Maybe I can film through the fence here. See, last year they had a free area in there. They still don't have it set up. See, here's a hauler. You see how they can lift the car right into the back of the trailer there. So let's see if we see any other haulers over here. We might be walking for a while. We'll walk over to Lakeshore Drive and see what it looks like. Yeah, you remember from last year here. Pit row officiating NASCAR right here. So if you just joined, we're in Chicago, we're in Monroe here. See, we're south of the Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we're looking through the fence here. Official hauler of NASCAR. They've been getting excited for the race here. Naya's tuning in there. Thanks, Krista. Julie Reed. Hopeful and blessed. There, July the 3rd. Beginning 10 p.m. Closure of northbound and southbound Michigan Avenue from Roosevelt Road to Jackson Drive and northbound. That's when they're... So usually when they shut down USABLE Lakeshore Drive last year, a lot of the haulers parked right on Lakeshore Drive. And then that's when we saw them weighing in the cars, getting inspected. And I think that was the day before the race when we did that. So that would be tomorrow. So they'll probably be, hey, look at all the generators. All the generators here. That's why they got a secure area. They don't want live streamers like me, even though, because other people might be viewing my footage and looking for stuff that'll slip off the truck here, you know. But hey, we got a stream here. Mia's tuning in there. Hey, Lunch Bunch, how you doing here? Welcome to Chicago here. Yeah, we're down by, now we're over by Lakeshore Drive, so we'll be able to walk across a part of Lakeshore Drive. I think they still got the northbound lanes. So this is like your traffic report. There's the dog. We're in Chicago here. We're at the south end of Maggie Daly here. And we're over to by USABLE Lakeshore Drive. It looks like they have the southbound traffic closed. They got a security gate here. There's the bend. Yeah, so no traffic right now. This is July the 3rd, 2025. No southbound traffic here. You can cross. There's a bunch of people over there. You got the road closed. So what I'm going to do, because it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to access, there's a security point here. Looks like there's a bunch of people over there. I don't have a press pass or anything. See, here's how you can look straight. They got Monroe closed. They got down to the museum campus. They got John Baptiste Point to USABLE Lakeshore Drive southbound closed. Let's go back over to Michigan Avenue and we'll see if we can see if the grandstands are being set up over by Michigan Avenue. Here we got some time here. We'll be walking around for the next hour almost here. Michael's tuning in there. That's good. Lambie T, how you doing there? D. Michael. Yeah, D. Michael, thanks for tuning in. So here, NASCAR setup. So yeah, the general game plan for tomorrow is I probably won't stream right away in the morning unless we go out for breakfast and see something interesting happen. We'll head up to Evanston in the afternoon. We'll take the red line up to the purple transfer because it'll be on the holiday schedule. It's going to be really hot tomorrow, so we got to stay hydrated. And we'll probably find a chill spot under the shade there. Eventually, in the evening, the band will start in Evanston, and they're going to supposedly do fireworks tomorrow, 9:30. So we'll try to get you some fireworks tomorrow from the Chicagoland area. They'll be doing Navy Pier fireworks on Saturday. That's two giant generators there on the back of a truck, or a bed of a truck. There you can see some of the NASCAR setup over there. We're on Monroe Street, heading towards Columbus. Last year I was able to get, security was much more lax, especially the first year. Look at those. See, I think they got cell phone repeaters there, so that's why the cell phone. This is a telecommunications trailer there for media. NASCAR. Here's some of the. Here, let's see if we can film over the fence. How you doing? Let's see if we can film over the fence, give you some better views of this official NASCAR truck haulers here. Look at that. Yeah. See the skyline there? Yeah, the Zach Van Brown will be highlighting there. So I probably won't stick around for the concert. That's a good band there. You know, even if I do stick around, you know, it's because I got my cousin in town. They don't have tickets. And I of course bought my tickets months ago, just a standing room only. But I want to spend time with them. I would like to see the Zach Brown band, but I'll be tired enough from just covering the NASCAR race. It's going to be really hot. And I guess they're going to have the concert Saturday night in between the races there. The main race is on Sunday, and there's going to be storms in the area. It's going to be really hot. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 95 Fahrenheit. And the symphony's practicing right now, so we could just watch the symphony instead of the NASCAR. But I want to at least get a lay of the land here, see what how much progress they've made on the grandstands and things like that. How you doing? Will this be a free event area tomorrow, Monroe Field, or because but last year they had a free area here. People were asking that there's no. Okay. Okay, good. So there's not going to be a free area this year. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, good. So the security doesn't want to talk to me. I understand, because they don't have to. He's not getting paid to talk to me. But yeah, they changed it this year, because they used to allow access. There was a will call area, and maybe they changed it. Maybe they changed it. Let's see. Let's walk down this way. Maybe we can get around here on the sidewalk. We'll see. We'll see what we're behind the Art Institute. Maybe we can go down to Jackson here. I guess they're still allowing access. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't want to get asked to leave by security here. I saw some other live streamers checking this out. See, here's the Arlington, Chicago. Hey, there's a NASCAR rig here. We'll just head down Columbus here along the fencing. You got beat up today? What happened, D? I don't know what you're talking about there. It's the strangest things pop in the comments there. Fabio, how you doing there? Yeah, see, here's the NASCAR Cup Series. We're over here by the Art Institute. We'll head over towards Jackson Street. Hey, there I am. Yeah, we're East Lansing there. How you doing there, Chris? Thanks for tuning in here. We got a stream here, 12:02, right on time. And this is usually time I start streaming. So if you just joined here in Chicago, we're kind of scoping out the race course. They got it blocked off much more than they had last year. Last year they had a free area in Monroe Field. I was talking with the security. He didn't want to tell me if they were going to open it up tomorrow or not. I know some people mentioned they're going to come down here tomorrow to meet with some of the drivers on the 4th. The races, the 5th and 6th. See, there's Zach Brown band there. 165 magnificent miles here. And this is actually one of the turns from Columbus to Jackson. They have to put the reinforced fencing and barricades, because it's actually part of the street course there. And you see some of the bridges, the pedestrian bridges. When you're actually there, you actually cross the course several times to get to your seat. It's kind of a hourglass shaped course. There's Charlotte, North Carolina there. NASCAR. Arby's, race for the cheesesteak. Yeah, and they block off, so people would otherwise they would stand there and just view the race. They make it hard for you to view the race here. But this is one of the turns. This is actually one of the turns for the NASCAR. See, the setup continues there. They're doing the setup there. This is at the intersection of Columbus and Jackson. NASCAR is being set up here. Let's see if we can get around here. So they have Jackson blocked off. I think we can walk along here. There's the Sears Tower, Metropolitan Building, Northern Trust. Yeah, this is the actual course here. So this is the actual course. And they might have a will call area over here. I think they're doing it different this year. They had so much problem last year. They mailed wristbands and people like me never got their wristbands until months after the race. So I think this year they're just doing digital tickets. But this is part of the NASCAR street course here. We'll be covering on July 5th and 6th here. This is July the 3rd. Jackson Boulevard here. We're heading back towards Michigan. And we'll see if they got any grandstands set up there. Thanks for smashing the like there. Thanks everybody for liking the live. If you like this live and like my content, it helps push this content so other people can view the live here. They really put the fencing close here. I might not be able to get out this way. This will be interesting if I can't get out this way. But we'll go as long as we can here. Yeah, I can't get out this way. They put the fencing right here. So here it is. There's the people on the bikes and stuff. So here's the NASCAR street race here. How you doing here? Hey, how you doing? Let me get with these guys. I should have saw them coming. I could just like walk along with them. I think we can get through here. If not, I'll backtrack. I just don't want to walk all the way back the way I can. I think I can get out this way. I'm lucky I saw these guys on the bike. I don't think they're part of NASCAR either. I think they're just, if they're workers, I'll ask them how I can get out of here. Hopefully they won't escort me off the premises. But hey, look at that nice view. Yeah, this is part of the NASCAR street course race here in Chicago. So let me put this down so I'm not so conspicuous. Yeah, I think we can get out this way. We'll get up with these guys and act like we're with the crew here. Arby's, Arby's, Arby's. There you can see some of the course here. It makes a bend. There's the train going by. Yeah, there's the train here. We're in line with Jackson here. There's a forklift on the course there. Look, there's a NASCAR. How you doing? It's good. He's got the little scooter there. So here, we'll get out of here. Yeah, this worked out. So here, sidewalk closed, but I guess you can still get through there. Here's some of the grandstands here. So, see, this will actually be part of the course here. This is actually part of the NASCAR street race course here. We're at Jackson in Michigan. See where we're at here. There's the tip of the Sears Tower. This is Michigan Avenue, and this is actually part of the. They got the grandstand set up over here. They're still working on it here on Michigan Avenue. I'm really hoping with my standing room only ticket I'll be able to get over to this point, because they've expanded the areas you're allowed to access with the standing room only ticket. You're basically along the fence at the ground level, but you can still see a lot of the race and hear the noise. And you can operate a forklift. That's good, D. Michael. How you doing? Appreciate it. So here we'll head along here. Hey, hopeful and blessed can operate for a lot of people. And I've driven forklift when I worked at a greenhouse. Dolores, how you doing there? Thanks everybody here. Chatal, how you doing there? Chippy Chop Tap. So here's the grandstands here. Here's the grandstands they're setting up for the NASCAR here. Oops. There's cans and debris and stuff here. Yeah, they're setting up the grandstands. Security railing. This is actually the barricade that protects tires and the cars from crashing off the course here. Michigan Avenue and Van Buren here. And they use this curve. Here's some of the grandstands here. Okay, yeah, so they charge, all NASCAR events, they charge ticket admission. I don't think that's any news to anybody else. They're a for-profit business. They contract with the city to take over Grant Park, probably at a discount because they just want to fill up the hotels and people shop at the restaurants and spend money in the city, come to NASCAR. And then, yeah, my ticket was a few $100s. I only have a standing room only. I got the cheapest ticket possible for the 2-day race event. There's a race on Saturday. No, yeah, there's a race on Saturday and there's a race on Sunday. And see, here's some of the grandstands, Michigan Avenue, and here's the curve here. We've covered this the last few years. And let's head down towards Ida B. Wells here. And that's part of the street course here. So the first year I didn't have a ticket. I didn't pay for a ticket, and I climbed the fence with a few other onlookers. There was a few places where you could climb the fence and look into the race. We actually got some footage. I lost that on my original count, but we had some really good footage of the NASCAR. And they were yelling at us to get off the fence. It was funny. And so I broke down and got a ticket. And I got it before I knew my cousin was going to be in town, so they'll find other stuff to do when I'm at the race there. Yeah, boost the local economy, just like Lollapalooza and all the other Sueños, just like Beyonce concert, all this stuff. This NASCAR street race. We don't know if they're going to do it again next year. Here's the haunted Congress Hotel, Roosevelt University, Louis Sullivan, and here we'll cross here. We're at Ida B. Wells here. That's the fountain, the Buckingham Fountain. So the Buckingham Fountain is within the street course. It's hard to access it. We'll be able to see it on Saturday and Sunday because it's part of the merchandise tents over there, and they'll have refreshments and all that stuff. There, 0 to 60 and 312. That's the area code of Chicago, at least the city, 773 and 312. You know that by drinking Goose Island beer. There's the Congress Plaza Hotel. We went inside there. We got reruns from in there. Went into the ballrooms and stuff. Columbia College here in Chicago. The Spertus Museum there for Jewish culture and history. And right on Michigan Avenue here. We got 12:12 in the PM here. 85 degrees. It's pretty hot. It's going to be hotter tomorrow. Yeah, Montana's tuning in. That's great. Yeah, Sean's tuning in there, Sean P. But yeah, the tickets get really expensive for the seats. I was standing at Will Call last year, and there was a guy that paid $1,500 for his tickets, and they were supposed to come in the mail, and they didn't. He had to go to Will Call and explain himself. And he's like, "Look, I paid $1,500 for tickets. You didn't send me them in the mail." And they gave him the runaround. They gave me the runaround. Mine only cost a few $100s. I had standing room only, but I didn't get my wristband. And the wristband literally came 3 months later in the mail, snail mail. I guess the USPS saw it was NASCAR and they just threw it in the corner. But here, look. Hey, let's head over here. Yeah, here's the grandstands here. Partial park closures. They got information online here. So they'll probably have some concerts and things over here. Here, they're still working on the set here. Yeah, they have dancing here. I saw Jay City walking girl. She's filmed stuff here. But yeah, here's the forklifts. Look, they're hauling some of the couplings for the grandstands there. And there you see the scale of the grandstands here. NASCAR street race in Chicago. Yeah, let's check out this park here. I actually want to get in the shade. But yeah, I saw Jay City walking girl. They did some dances and yoga stuff here. And it looks like they'll have some concessions here for the race. This is a nice park here. This is part of Grant Park. We're south of, we're over by Balboa in Michigan. And there's a statue here to the patron of the symphonies here, the old conductors and stuff. Yeah, so again, I got tickets. I'll be walking around, standing room only on Saturday and Sunday. You can watch it on TV. At least on Sunday, they'll do the big race. I don't know about Saturday. There's a more amateur race, and then the true NASCAR celebrities drivers race is on Sunday. But here's the Theodore Thomas monument here, this neoclassical lyrical woman here that is to the symphony. If you research, you look up Theodore Thomas, he was a patron and a conductor for the symphony there. I think that's what he was here. There it is. Look at that. They got the whole symphony here. Musical education people. Theodore Thomas in this country. The nobility of his ideals with the magnitude of his achievements assured him everlasting glory. 1835 to 1905. There you go. Erected by the trustees of the Ferguson Monument Fund. Howard Shaw, architect. There it is. So here we'll head back to Michigan Avenue. Yeah, it'll be televised. Yeah, you can watch it on TV. Trust me, you'll street races are hard to watch live because you don't see the whole course. You only see every 2 minutes you see the cars whiz by and they get all spread out. You have to watch the Jumbotron. If there's a wreck, if it's not right in front of you, half the time you're trying to figure out why there's a caution flag. And it's even worse if you got standing room only because you're just walking around all confused. Some people rent the official radio broadcast, and so they got the pit crew. What the pit crew hears, this is Balboa. This is Balboa, and this is part of the street race here. They'll come off of Michigan Avenue here. You can look online to see the race course here. We're just checking out. Look, there's some of the TV. There's some of the TV stands for the cameras. So here we'll head down. Here we're down by the Big Hilton here, the Big Hilton Hotel. A lot of people are probably staying here for the race. And there's the Blackstone Hotel. That's where they had the police riot with the hippies in 1968. The whole world was watching. The statue. There's a nice fountain over here. Hey, it feels really good under the shade of these trees. We haven't gotten down this way in a while here. Sometimes we come down. Sometimes we go inside the Hilton there. It's beautiful, beautiful ballrooms. Michael Jordan and company owns his own race car. Hey, thanks for the good info there. You got the twins out? Yeah. Yeah, there you go, MG. You can watch it on TV. Here, they're playing some badminton. How you doing? Yeah. Hitting the old bird around there. I see a water fountain here. I'm going to try to check out this water fountain. But have you ever seen the Fugitive movie with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones there? They use this a lot. Yeah, he's getting a drink of water. I'm going to follow right behind him there to get a drink of water at the fountains here. Yeah, drinking fountain here. Very important to stay hydrated, especially in the summertime where I have to stop to bring water bottles with me tomorrow. We go up to Evanston there, it's going to be 95 degrees. Hey, she's got the right idea. She's got a little umbrella there. That's nice. Yeah, get your parasol. Help with the sun. Yeah, let's check out this fountain. This beautiful fountain here at Grant Park. Yeah, number 23 car driven by Bubba Wallace. Yeah, he's been here the last 2 years there. They're really trying to promote it. They got the outreach with the local schools. They let the local community centers there. They were promoting it with the kids there. They were driving little remote control cars. I saw on the news. Look at this nice fountain here. This is part of Grant Park. I think this goes back to the World's Columbian Exposition. They added these fountains of the city. Beautiful movement here. Look at that statue. We'll head up to that statue and we'll try to get up there. Maybe we can get an overview of some of the cores. These people that live in these buildings have amazing views of you'll see videos they'll post from their windows or balconies where they can see the whole course and follow the cars. They don't have to buy a ticket. They can just look out their window. Imagine that. You look outside your high-rise view with the lake and there's a race course right there, like you're in Monte Carlo there. Hey, look at the flowers here. Weather wasn't too bad. See, that's the 1000M. We watched that go up the last few years. Yeah, look at the nice landscaping. Look at the street wall there. Look at the beautiful sky. We've been having wonderful summer weather here. It's been hot, but felt good to go to the beach last few days there. Yeah. There, motorcycles will be out in force this weekend. There, see this statue? It's a Union Civil War general, and they got his name up there. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but we'll point it out there. I think they got it written there. We'll head up here and then we'll look back. At least there's a nice skyline view here looking up through Grant Park. And again, the hippies gathered here back in '68 when they had the police riot there for the '68 Democratic Convention. That's Soldier Field there, and that's some of the housing on Roosevelt. Here it is. That's the back of the horse here. Look at that view. Look at that view looking up Michigan Avenue. Yeah, how you doing? 1861 to 1864, Fort Donelson. There, his name's Logan, John A. Logan. This is John A. Logan. He was a Union, was he a brigadier general? Let's see. Major general. He was a major general. State of Illinois. He fought for, they had the regiments divided by states for the Civil War. Here, look at that. Look at that nice view. Look at that beautiful gardens here, Grant Park. This is looking towards Balboa. We're looking north. There's the Hilton there on the left all the way. You can see to the Smurfit Stone Building, the Stone Container Building, 150 North Michigan Avenue, the Prudential. See, we just walked through there. We got 1221. So we'll have to reverse this, but yeah, there's the nice skyline view there. And what we'll do is we'll just head up Michigan Avenue. We'll go back to Millennium Park and see if the symphony's still playing, and then we'll go back to work there. So I just wanted to see. Last year it was different. Last year they had a free and open area with like some NASCAR cars, and you could get to will call, and there was stuff to film there at Butler Field, but they when I talked to the security, he just ignored me. He wouldn't even answer my questions, which is, you know, I don't. It's not his job to answer my questions. It's probably his job not to answer my questions. But looks like they don't have Butler. Maybe they'll have it open tomorrow. Maybe they might still be setting it up. I don't know. Some people were tuning in. They said they're gonna come into downtown tomorrow to meet some of the drivers. There'll be meets and greets, and maybe tomorrow they'll be able to film the weighing in of the cars, the inspection. All the haulers for the race car drivers will probably come in about midnight to 5 a.m. We'll wake up the next morning and we'll see them all parked there around the race course. But here we'll just head up Michigan Avenue. This is residential housing. They built this about 10 years ago. This is an important mid-century modern building. Ebony and Jet magazines were published out of this building, and still are, I think, some. I don't know. It had the logos on the top, but that was built in the 60s, I think. There's the Essex Inn. East West University. And there's the Hilton. Again, if you've seen The Fugitive, they use that. That was one of the largest hotels in the world when it was built. And of course, Vegas and Macau and other hotels eclipse it now. Yeah, there'll be people that have live feeds from the buildings that have better views. I'm going to give people the experience of having a standing room only will call. We'll walk around. You'll see more crowd. I'll film the crowd reactions, just the layout of the course, and we'll see it from the fence. Now, we were able last year to get some partially obstructive views of the pit row and where they accelerated for the start finish. But we'll see. And I was able to film some of the practice, you know, where they practice going around the course before they actually have the race here. I'm gonna get another drink of water here. Yeah. Dance, monkey, dance. Even if I could do a backflip, I wouldn't do it for you. How's that for an answer? You can't afford me. Here's, look how nice and wide the sidewalks here on Michigan Avenue. Here's the Hilton Hotel, Blackstone. Yeah, the insurance is too high. What's the liability? Yeah, I can pilot a yellow submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine. Yellow puffer fish. Here, Sweet Home Chicago. There it is. NASCAR and Chicago street race here, July 5th and 6th. Yeah, they're setting it up. Look at all this staging here. Yeah, 2 years ago I climbed the fence and then they yelled at me to get off. We got some interesting, I wasn't the only one, there was a bunch of people here, you know, and I couldn't get a good cell phone signal anyway, I had to film it. But there was pretty good cell coverage last year. Somehow they flooded the actual course with good cell phone reception. There's one of the booms for the TV cameras there that's going to film the race here. There's a truck pulling out here. Oh, let me get across the They're actually pulling out there. They got the green light. See, sidewalk closed. This is actually part of the street course here. This is Balboa. That's actually part of the racetrack there that they're going to use for the street race. Here's another water fountain. I'll take a little slurp every time I see a water fountain. I'll take a little slurp here. There, we'll show that statue. Very nice. Hey, the Blackstone Hotel. Oh, look at a helicopter. Helicopter flew out there. I did notice last year, both for NASCAR and Lollapalooza, the helicopter touring companies do bank a lot of money because they were flying one helicopter scenic ride after another, and they would fly right over Millennium Park, and people paid a lot of money to take those helicopter rides that come in town. There's the Spiritus Museum. Look at the window washers. Look at the window washers repelling down. How would you like to do that for a job? There's the motorcycles. Yeah, look at them repel down there. Look at that. So hey, Chicago, we're over Michigan Avenue watching the window washers here next to the Spiritus Museum. This is a different building. The Columbia College building. That's what they're cleaning the windows for Columbia College right there. Look, he's coming all the way down. Look, there's a guy right there. Yeah. Get him come down the building there. Yeah, I know. That's these guys. See, there's the tip of the Sears Tower right there. So let's film these guys for a second. This is good footage there. So there's the Sears Tower. This is the Columbia College building here. Look how they rappelled down there. Yeah, I caught them on the building I work in, and I seen them outside, and they found the videos, and they said, yeah, that's us. And some of the guys, they have hundreds of thousands of followers because they post the footage of what the views they get going over the top of those buildings. And some of the most spectacular views of the Chicago skyline these guys see from washing these windows, because they do some really high buildings. There's some of the people. How you doing there? Setting up the grandstands here. This is one of the curves. This is actually the course for the race here. And this Michigan Avenue Congress Hotel. Yeah, what's up with these cartwheels and backflips? I don't want to injure myself before I film the race. We'll play it cautious. Oh yeah. Yeah, look at those window washers there. He started all the way at the top, over the top. But hey, look at this nice skyline view. Yeah. Well, guess what? I gotta sit on the Hedron. You get a permanent ban, permanently banned. I never want to see you again. People mock me. You know, I just don't want to deal with it. You know, if someone just wants to mock me, you know, they don't deserve to see my content. And I feel good. I feel empowered. So go ahead and make my day. You know, I know the people that tune in regularly, and people just want to mock my health or, you know, my opinion. I don't care anymore. I've already accomplished what I want. We got 93,000 followers on TikTok. People recognize me in the street, even on TikTok or even on YouTube here. I'm not gonna, you teach people how to treat you, you know. Someone comes up and slaps you in the face and makes fun of you. I'm just not gonna associate myself with them. And people can't handle social media. That's how they treat, if they treat, they'll treat a dog like that. They'll just like torture a dog, and they want to torture me because they feel empowered, like they could sit in their basement and just like heckle. So hey, that's good there. Yeah, thanks Sean P. How you doing there? No, my mods are great. Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks for tuning in here. I couldn't do it without you. And yeah. Yeah, we'll never have to see that. And it's so funny. Usually, I'll mention their name there. Icon, ICOS. It. I can't even read their name. You know, like their name is so contrived. Probably because they got a troll and they got like 5 followers. and it's okay only having 5 followers. I like people that only have 5 followers and don't post any content, because not everybody wants to post content. But you know. Here, let's go, where we at here? So we crossed Ida B. Wells. Here's the Van Buren Street Station Metro. There we go, look at that. And you get to, they're working on that station. And there the train just bounded the bend there. There's some of the old Studebaker Hotel and things like that. Here, we'll head around here. We'll walk right along Michigan Avenue, show the setup for the grandstands here. Yeah, people got the top down here. Nascar street race set up here. There we go. Hey Renee, how you doing there? Christy M. Yeah, and thanks everybody. That really helps out for people, long-term friends and followers, and even my mods. But just other people push back. You know, when other people, when people tune in and they say things like they're gaslighting me, they'll say, "Why do you never go to the South Side?" Here's how I should respond. Yes, I do go to the South Side. I got 130 videos on the South Side of Chicago on TikTok. Why haven't you watched my videos? And I got to put them back on the defensive, and they'll be like, "Why aren't you in the South Side now?" I'm like, we're covering NASCAR. How insulting is it to me? I'm showing the beauty of downtown Chicago. They're showing they don't care about, and they might live on the South Side. They might, want to shame me because I don't cover the South Side as much as I should. I admit that. I know that's a problem. The South Side and the West Side don't have as much coverage. I try to promote live streamers all throughout the city. But it's just the mentality, and it gets par for the course. It doesn't really bother me. It's just people's opinions. People are allowed to state their opinion. Hey, they got this closed off here. You know, I cringe. Like this morning, I was awoken to the news that there was a violent event that happened at River North. We walked by it. Nick Koiken went by it last night. Shortly after it happened, the police were still there. And thanks to them for doing that. We feel like we're like local news reporters almost. We cover news relevant events. When I went by it this morning, there was still some BLOOD on some clothing and gauze on the street there. It was the BLOOD stains were still on the sidewalk. That's how real the violence is in the city. And I know it's hard. It's hard for me to. This is the big bad city. We live up to our stereotype. Every time we have a big holiday weekend, there's usually outbreaks of pew pew violence. Here we'll go by the Art Institute of Chicago, the Lions. Look at this classic scene here. Michigan Avenue here at Adams. This is the start of Route 66. We might cross the street here and show you Route 66. Here's the bucket boys, bucket men. And yeah, let's cross the street here. Art Institute of Chicago, Lions here. We got the light. Cut across here. And we'll go over and show you the begin sign for Route 66. And there's the Sears Tower. See how Adams Street aligns with the Sears Tower, and that's how you can remember where Route 66 starts. See, here's the begin. Here's the historic begin sign for Route 66. You see how Sears Tower right there, and it's right across from the Art Institute of Chicago. And it used to be you could take that all the way to California, but now it's been replaced and some of the highway doesn't exist anymore. But here's the begin sign, Route 66 there, Adams Street, Michigan Avenue. And then they got this other, how you doing? They got this, yeah, they're taking a picture in front of it there. Look at all the stickers, people put the stickers on it. There's the Route 66 starter sign there, that's it. How you doing? They got a nice little plane. Hey, I'm sorry, you want, okay. Yeah, people put all the stickers on here. They used to put them on the main sign. Oh, the other side's clean, good, thank you. Oh yeah, I know. There it is, there's the Route 66. Thanks for the good info there, yeah. There it is, Route 66. And there's the actual sign right there. Yeah, so here, we'll keep going. Yeah, get your kicks on Route 66. NASCAR fans would like that too. So here, National Louis University. I think this used to be the Santa Fe building, or one of these did. We're on Michigan Avenue. Yeah, they got Chick-fil-A, got some outdoor seating here. Thanks, son. How you doing there? Yeah, thanks for appreciating it there. Yeah, the Lions. Remember, they removed them a few years ago. They gave them a fresh coat of wax. People noticed they were on the back of a truck heading down to Dan Ryan, but they replaced them. And yeah, usually if any of the Chicago sports teams pull in, any of the Chicago sports teams make the championships, they'll put the helmet of like the Blackhawks or the Bears or the Cubs or the Sox, or even the Chicago Fire or the Chicago Sky. WNBA won the championship a few years ago. We went to Millennium Park and filmed the celebration. Yeah, here Monroe Street, Monroe and Michigan. We'll cross the street and we'll head back into Millennium Park. We got 12:37, so we got some time to see if the symphony's still playing here. So we'll get across Monroe Street and yeah, they have those umbrellas set up there. This is Monroe Street. Yeah, I couldn't see them because of that scaffolding. They got those umbrellas set up there for the restaurants. This is an interesting group of buildings here. This is called the Gage group of buildings. It's by Louis Sullivan. There's actually a bar there called the Gage. They used to be haberdasheries. They were hat making companies, and you can actually see it there. This is a University Club, and that's the Monroe building at Monroe in Michigan. They're yelling at people. Hey, we got to walk. So hey, let's head over to the Crown Fountain. Maybe we'll see them spitting out the water. And I'm gonna head back to the. I'm heading to the. I'm just walking to Grandstands. How you doing? Appreciate it. I'm gonna head over to the I'm gonna head over to the Pritzker Pavilion there, see if the symphony's still practicing. I guess people were stopping in the middle of the street there. There, you see the University Club, the gauge. Look at those. See, look at that's Louis Sullivan's classic ornamentation at the top there. And Chicago Athletic Association, the Willoughby Tower. There, let's head up here. See if they spit out the water here. Manatama, Manatama. Who knows what that is? From the Muppets? Yeah. Oh, it feels cool. Feel the cool waters here. There it is, the Crown Fountains. I guess it's the Crown Fountain singular. I guess they're two make one here. Everybody's hanging out, waiting for the water to spit out there and cool down. 85 degrees here. These are Chicagoans that volunteered to put their faces on here. They cycle through the whole once every 5 minutes or so they spit out water. Are they getting ready here? Let's see, I can't tell. I can never tell when they're getting ready. It always surprises me. Like I'll look away and then they'll start. But here, let's try to get on the other side there. Maybe we can have the skyline there in the background. Let's zoom around here, see if they're going to spit out the water. Yeah, you can splash around here. Hey, Chicago Crown Fountain here, we're part of Millennium Park. I'm just waiting for the, hopefully they'll spit out the water and then we'll head over to the Pritzker Pavilion, see the bean. We were here earlier, we just checked out the Nascar street race setup. If I get up on these steps, maybe we can get a nice overview. Yeah, they're getting ready. They're getting ready, here you go. They're gonna, the Crown Fountain, there goes the water there. Yeah, look at it, see? They spit out the water, you get your douse with, take a shower there, get cooled down. Yeah, the Crown Fountain here in Chicago, look at that. Yeah, both sides there. Yeah, the kids love it there. It's a very popular spot, especially in the summertime. And it only lasts a few seconds there, maybe 30 seconds. See, there it goes, both sides. They got some sculptures up here. Hawaii, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in from Hawaii here. Yeah, welcome to Chicago here. We were showing that we got a NASCAR street race happening. You might be able to see it on TV on Sunday, July 5th and 6th. There'll be a race on July 5th, a race on July 6th. They're setting up the street race course in Grant Park. We were checking out the impacts. And so now we're in Millennium Park. We're going to go and check out the bean here. And they're taking a nice photo here. We'll see if we can walk behind so we don't mess up the shot here. There we go. How you doing? Let's head through here. Hey, there's the bean. Yeah. Running through the sprinklers, you're right. Remember the slip and slides? Yeah, sometimes you just open up a fire hydrant. Right here, Millennium Park. It's pretty hot. What time we got here? 12:42. Yeah, let's head around here. Yeah, you get these nice views looking down the street here, the Willoughby Tower. That used to be Montgomery Ward's there. There's the Pittsfield building. That's that tower the TikTok guy bought. He bought it because it has that large, tall, interior light well because he wants to turn it fully into residential. There was portions of it that were already residential, but he's going to turn the whole thing into residential, which is probably the best thing for it to save it. You're in the Rolls Royce there. Pimp J will be looking for you in the Rolls Royce there. Yeah, that's great. Hey, look at that dog. So here's the bean. Here's the great bean of Chicago there. Look at that. Millennium Park. Sounds like the symphony might still be practicing there. They're doing something. But here's the great bean of Chicago. We got 12:43. We won't walk underneath it because I want to head over to see if they're still practicing for the Grant Park Music Fest here. Yeah, great being in Chicago, Cloud Gate. Anish Kapoor is the artist from London there. He's been here since 2006, part of Millennium Park. Yeah, let's head over to the Pritzker Band show here. Mary Ward. Yeah, we need a Formula One race. We need a Monte Carlo. Hey, they sound like got some xylophones. Yeah. Yankee Doodle. Just put you in the mood for the 4th. Look at that xylophone. Oh, look at that. Wow. Yeah, excellent. What a great job on the xylophone there. This is the Grant Park Music Festival practicing the symphony here. Look at that. What a great Pritzker Band show here. They do this usually at lunchtime. We can catch a practice here. I just walked right up here. Isn't that nice? Wow. Play that xylophone. Yeah, excellent. Good job. Yeah, thank you. Excellent. Good job. There we go. There you go. Let people walk through here. But here's the Pritzker Band Shell. What a great venue we have here. Yeah. Hey, they're moving the xylophone off. Hey, thanks for sticking around for that. Wasn't that worth it? We usually get a free concert here. And see, we checked out the Nascar. We got at the end of this concert. Yeah, I know. I'm struggling to get into the 4th this year too. I know it's because I won't get into the politics of this big bill. Maybe it just passed. I guess I saw that Jeffries was filibustering or talking a long time and delaying it. I just can't stand to see the stock market go up. I am going to, all I can do is I'm going to, if there's any Fortune 500 companies, whether they lobby for the government or not, I'm going to support local mom and pops. We can vote with our dollars en masse as Americans if we don't. We think that corporations are not paying their fair share if they're milking grandma to get tax cut for billionaires. We can vote with their dollars. We can not choose not to spend our money with Amazon. We could choose not to spend our money with Walmart. You know how it is. So here, look at the symphony here. But they don't need us anymore. They literally, the billionaires don't need us in their economy. They already bought and sold Congress. And we'll vote them all out. We'll remember this next November. Trust me, we will remember who voted for this bill, and they will pay a price for it. But we have the final say, we the people. It was such a beautiful song, I had to stick around for it. So if you just joined Chicago Millennium Park here, the Grand Park Symphony's practicing here. Yeah, excellent. So here we go. Here's the schedule. Grand Park Music Festival, July the 4th, Independence Day Salute, Beethoven Symphony No. 6. Tonight they're doing Beethoven Symphony No. 6. Tomorrow, Independence Day Salute, Grand Park Music Festival right here in Millennium Park, Pritzker Band Shell. So hey, there'll be entertainment here tomorrow. And they're practicing there. Hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for sticking on. There wasn't that a beautiful musical rendition. Before that, we saw the guy playing the xylophone. And they were doing like a, hey, continues. Yeah, they're going to redo it. They're redoing it from the top there. So I got to get back to work, unfortunately. But we'll check out the Bean here in Millennium Park. Look at all the beautiful people gathered here July the 3rd. We'll be doing the Nascar street race, the 5th and 6th. Tonight, my cousin's heading into town. And we're gonna head up to Evanston, and thanks for tuning in here. Scenes of the city here. You can watch the full rerun if you want to see the NASCAR setup. Hey, look at that! They're doing the. See that you can position like you're holding the bean there. You can put it like you're eating in the mouth there. Yeah, everyone deserves the right to repair. There you go. And yeah, how you doing there? I'm on YouTube here, but hey, how you doing there? What's protect the wetlands here? That's good.
Right to repair.
Right to repair. That's okay. I'm Brian. Yeah, I'm Brian from Chicago. How you doing? P-I-R-G.
Wait, could you take a picture? Yeah, you just take a picture.
Thank you. How you doing there?
Good.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
it's the right to repair.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we'll do both here.
You can look this up.
Brian, really Chicago. How you doing? That's good. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Yeah. Thanks for saying hello.
Thank you.
Man, have a great day there. That's awesome. Yeah, see? That's good. See, I'm a little sweaty, but hopefully they're okay with that. It's summertime. Taking selfies with people here at the Bean here. There's, yeah, there we go. There's the Bean. Beautiful women there. First Amendment free speech. Hey, it sounds like they're playing Stars and Stripes Forever. Come on, if I might have to head back over here. It sounds like they're playing a rousing rendition here. I'm a sentimental for the Patriotic Sousa Band. I don't know why. Well, my dad was in the Air Force. He doesn't like when they make the veterans stand up. He's like, nah. He goes, I don't want to do it. He was drafted in Vietnam. He's still kind of bitter about it. But at least he survived. We have friends and relatives that didn't survive. Texas! In the heart of Texas. They're playing this in Chicago. Julie, are you hearing this? Yellow Rosa, Texas. Yeah, I'll be on TikTok after 5 tonight. I know I skipped last night. Thanks for letting me take a break. Honestly, we got so much live streaming coming up over the weekend. I have to pace myself. So, but they were playing the Deep in the Heart of Texas with the claps. So it looks like they're going to have a rousing concert tonight. They're doing Beethoven, July the 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th. Every time I leave, they play another rousing song. So I got to get back to work here. So we'll head right back to Michigan Avenue. We'll get you that nice view. We'll show you the line for Nando's. The line for Nando's was really long, and I'm sure it'll be long over NASCAR weekend, July 4th. We're starting the full busy tourist season of Chicago, which lasts from July 4th through Labor Day, and it usually coincides when the kids are out of school We got so many events packed into July and August and September this time of the year. And that's why I got to pace myself. But hey, thanks everybody. Yeah, we'll be streaming on TikTok tonight after 5. I'll be doing my normal walk home from work. We'll probably just head straight up Michigan Avenue and we'll go up to Oak Street Beach. Hey, thanks, Julie. Julie, do you see they were playing the Texas music even in Chicago? The stars at night are big and bright in the heart of Texas. You got to clap. Sounds like there's a blues band. There was a guy with the snake over here. Let's see if the guy with the snake, usually if you walk up Michigan Avenue around NASCAR weekend or Lollapalooza, there's a bunch of people with toucans and macaws and snakes and all kinds of exotic animals that you can... There he is right there. There he is. Let's show you the guy with the snake. If I film him too long, he'll still want to charge me money. But see, they will have checkpoints probably tonight. They'll have a security checkpoint to get in to see the concert. There's their live blues band or friends over there. We filmed them many times. I've tipped them. But here, we'll show the guy with the snake here. He's got like a python or something. Hey, they're clipping the shoes there, yeah. There he is. Here's the guy with the snake. How you doing there? Hey, how you doing? That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Snake here on Michigan Avenue. We'll head right over to Randolph here. Here's the fountain. Oh, Ernie and Nick are gonna have another meetup. Yeah, I saw last night that Jennifer, You Should Eat, Ernie, Chicago Nuggies, Ernesto there, and Nick Hoykin, they were up by the Cafe Brar at night. They were doing the haunted tour there. Ernie was showing them. Ernie knows all the haunted places there. He used to work for the zoo. And then Nick, on the way back, he was able to film that Pew Pew incident. There was a tragic shooting incident where people died and 18 people were rushed to the hospital. We went by it this morning, and you could go to Nick's page and see that he was there last night when the police were still there. We just were there this morning when the media, I didn't even know about it. I went to bed early last night because I'm resting up. But hey, we got bands on every corner here. We'll cross the street here. We're at Randolph in Michigan. And hey, we got the light here. We'll cross. We got bike taxis will be out in force this weekend. We'll see all the bike taxis. How you doing there? Here, we're crossing here. Randolph in Michigan. There's the theater district there. See, people are like, where's everybody at? Here's where everybody's at. We finally are out and about here. Michigan Avenue. Randolph here. Hey, you got the umbrella there. There it is. There's the Wrigley building. Look at that. So we'll just head up Michigan Avenue. Nice shirt there. Yeah. 420. How you doing there? I'm glad it's 420 somewhere. That's great. I'm right there with you. I'm hoping to join you at 420 land there. And yeah, we're on Michigan Avenue here. There's a nice blues rhythm and blues band, I think, right there. The drummer. Yeah, we know those guys. I can't believe they don't have this open yet. I thought they would have had this open a month ago. Cinnabon and Auntie Anne's, they're missing up all this revenue. Maybe they better get it open before Lollapalooza. Rainbow Cone, the summer will be over. They won't even have it open. I guess they're waiting on permits or something. They got to bribe the local alderman. Oh, did I say that? No, I didn't say that. The flag's still on the Wrigley building. We'll show it tonight. When we head up Michigan Avenue, we'll be on TikTok after 5 tonight. We'll head up Michigan Avenue. We'll go up to Oak Street Beach on our way home. My cousins are getting in town. My one cousin and his friend are getting in town, and then we'll try to do fireworks tomorrow at Evanston. We'll go. Here's the line for Nutella. So Nutella's got a store here. The chocolate spread there, the hazelnut spread, and here's the line to get into Nutella's here. July the 3rd, 2025. Nando's is above. They got the window open there. There you get your name right on the jar there. There's the line to get Nutella here, Michigan Avenue. You can always tell when the tourist season's fully in swing. Look at the flag on the Wrigley building there. Happy 3rd of July. We'll celebrate the 4th tomorrow as best we can. The freedoms we still have. And then we'll do that NASCAR race on July 5th and 6th there. See, Nando's has got the peri-peri chicken there. You can sit outdoors there. That's a really nice view. And there's the Hazel Johnson sculpture there. So hey, thanks mods, thanks everybody else, thanks for tuning in. You can watch this full rerun on YouTube. Go to the live tab channel, or live tab there, Brian Really Chicago. I'll be on TikTok after 5 tonight, and then we'll have a nice 4th there. So talk to you later from Chicago. Thanks a lot, everybody. Yeah, from Russia with love. We'll